Yo. Kwanza Global family back again with episode 16.
16.
You ready?
Oh, you ready?
Are you ready?
That's pretty much what it's called. You ready? So pretty much you ready is really important because once you're on your road, once you're like, okay, this is it, you gotta understand what comes with it. You gotta understand, like, once you understand your road and the sacrifice you have to make, you are able to, to really focus and understanding all that you have to put in order to get to that point in life.
Yeah, to get where you want to go. I think we all have to we all have to come to a point where we make decisions about, all right, where we want to go in our lives, and then we say, am I willing to make this sacrifice towards fulfilling my purpose, for me living my purpose. You might be somebody who likes to go out, go to that party, or you get invited to that party, and you're gonna have to say, I'm gonna have to take that rain check and stay at the house because you got to finish up on that homework. You got to finish up on that that project you're working on, or that idea that you're thinking of, and you really have to put it together, and things of that nature. And that might be over a month's time, 2 months, 3 months time. You might have to not be on your phone for certain hours of the day, and just put it away, because there's certain things you have to get done. So that's part of what we're talking about today, is just you have to decide that road that you're gonna take, the road to success, or the opposite road where you're kind of just getting by, and you're just kind of
like pretty much what we're saying,
just doing whatever, and not you have to either road, you have to make those decisions. The decisions are up to you,
right? God put us all in this world with a purpose. There's no one who was not created without a purpose. There's no way a baby being born and all the things that he has been taught, or has she been taught, cannot be somebody. So anyways, to say that when a child is being born, he basically has to learn all the way to be the person that he is, and figuring out what, when the child grows up, the parents starts, if they're very attentive parents, they're gonna figure out what their child is really good at, and trying to finesse their skills for them to be the person they're meant to be. Now, is the child growing up, becoming an adult, is going to sit back and not really pursuing into that potential that he or she has, or is he or she going to just stand back and basically not do anything, not focusing on what he's meant or what she meant to be, to do in this world, but just sitting around not doing anything? So you really got to understand that everything comes with a choice. With a choice. Like, you have to make your choice to understand what is the road you want to be on, and how do you want to go with it, because there's no way anybody is not meant to be somebody. Like, you can't. Everybody has their own choice. Trust me. We may say that we didn't ask to be alive. That's one thing we can say. Okay. Nobody was simple as that. Nobody was told to be. Nobody knew they were gonna be alive. No one knew they were gonna be alive today. Period. Like, I didn't know. He didn't know. Nobody knew. But the fact that we already in this world,
there's a reason.
And also there's a purpose within us that we must bring to this world.
Yes.
There is definitely this.
There's a legacy we must leave.
Yes,
there's an impact we
there's
must
somebody
make.
we're
There's a
going.
mark
There's
we
somebody
have to
we
leave.
have to impact. There's somebody we have to inspire.
It's just
There's
it's
something
facts.
that
That's
we are
facts.
doing that somehow
Yeah.
is making a difference.
Yeah.
And this is how mysteriously
Yeah.
this world continues on because we are what we are today because of what we bring into this world, and that makes us us.
Yeah, we have to really.
So basically, but
I
just
mean,
like
there has to be an understanding of that, of course. Though,
yeah,
you know?
because God is our master. God pretty much said, "Okay, here
Yeah.
you are in this world. Now go and lead."
Okay.
Knowing the road is going to help you visualize your future and how you want it to look like and who you want to be. And that's how you're able to you have to understand what it takes to be there, and that's why you need to understand, like the road that you're on and really focus and who do you like how you really like who you want to be around, who do you want to be surrounded with.
Those are all part of the
These
choices
are all part of
that
the choices that you make on a daily basis. And
Yeah.
just the same way we're
Yeah.
not we won't say enough about college and school and everything in life. Basically, people that say, oh, it's because of this I had some bad relationships, that's how it turned out maybe how I am, or like ended up being on drugs, or just doing shitty stuff and not taking life seriously. Honestly, I feel like at the end of the day, we all have choices, and we all are responsible for our mistakes. That doesn't mean you just can't bounce it back. You can bounce back from it. That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
That's why it all comes with choices, and that's how you gotta understand the road that you're on. Cause again, if Malcolm X. Malcolm X
That's
didn't.
a good one too.
Yeah, Malcolm X. All these celebrities, all
he-
these famous black people that we know that fought so hard for this life.
Yeah, they did not.
Come on.
Yeah,
They
he's a
understood the
good.
assignment. Period.
Yeah, and Malcolm X, I know he's one that started off, rocky. As far as his,
The rockiest.
as far as the way his life started. He wasn't. The Malcolm X that
Now
we
I
know
know.
of. Like earlier. He could have been dead before he become the Malcolm X. Before he made the impact that he did. He went through his things as well. Before eventually he made the impact that he did, on society. So that should just tell you that there's never there's low points in our life that we still have the choice to allow that to take us and continue down that road and keep going lower and lower until we're till we're dead, or we take the we take the other
side.
choice, and we decide to do something about it and pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off and we live in purpose.
Exactly. Even Maya Angelou, who was a prostitute before, she became who we now know. God bless her soul.
You wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't even know
crazy.
because can you imagine everything that our great grandparents went through in this life?
Yeah.
Or like all these people that fought for us to be where we are today. If it wasn't because they understood their sacrifice, they understood the road that we're on, and they knew the amount of sacrifices they would have to make. All these people that died, don't you think they know that they're going to get beat up? Or like all these people that protested for black people to just basically have basic human rights. Okay, I'm not saying like to vote, just basic human rights.
Yeah.
Don't you know what they knew? What to understand it's the same with like you gotta understand what comes with the road that you're on, but you cannot you cannot let it defeat you.
Yeah, you have to be. You have to be ready for it.
You have to be strong. That's why we're saying that you have a choice.
Have to be ready for it.
Because I'm gonna get where I want to be. That's how we were saying, not literally in our recent episode.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? That was success is in the vision, right? Understanding the seeing yourself in that success means understanding the road that you're on
Yeah.
and literally being ready for that sacrifice because
Or sacrifices.
with
Even,
sacrifices,
'cause,
right?
yeah.
Period. Sacrifices. That's what I'm trying
You
to
know?
say. Like
Yeah.
everything will be on the way.
Yeah.
That cannot be one of the reasons why you want to sit down. And
That's why,
honestly, people that just tell
actually,
me
yeah.
people that talk shit about their jobs on a daily basis and like, oh, I don't like this job, blah blah blah, because here and there, quit the job, go find something else. This cannot be a reason you are like you like
Yeah, that you're trying to, stop yourself.
that you're
stop-
not progressing.
And you're not,
Because doing all of that,
that you're thinking of quitting.
right,
stuff,
and you're
you know?
projecting all these negativities into your life. Trust me, because by wasting this time and knowing that's not something that you want to be, should be one of the reasons why you should just be out and literally focus on what you actually want to do.
Yep. I think another something I talked about a while back on one of the episodes is how important it is, how important it is knowing that you're on earth for a purpose, and knowing that there's a reason you're breathing right now, knowing that having a why to what you're doing, being intentional, it's so crucial, and why it's a theme that we've talked about multiple times, is that relating to this episode today, those going down the road that we're going in our lives, living in purpose, and trying to make and making an impact, not even trying but making an impact in people's lives and the people around us, and in our own lives as well, and leaving a legacy and all of that, make those sacrifices that come with it, they're different for different people, those sacrifices that are made along the way, but they are still made, sometimes like for Martin Luther King, for instance, it's like, I know, we're talking death threats, we're talking bombings, all of this stuff going on around him. I'm pretty sure he knew and wasn't, he wasn't blind to the fact that, that there were threats on his life, and that his life was, each and every day as he was fighting for the basic human rights of, black people, that, his life was always on the line, literally, because of, the backlash and the pushback of the white people of that time. So it's, and the whole government, at the time as well, so it's like, he wasn't blind to that fact, yet he still kept going. He still kept preaching, ministering. He still kept marching. He still kept fighting for, basic human rights of black people despite that. So you have to really think about it, even though these sacrifices, that had to be made, and in his case were really, really, life or death, where it was like, if he sat back and was just quiet about it, pretty much, he probably, it'd still be, it'd be less, attention to him. You know what I mean? He could have left things alone. He could have had that. He could have had, more family time. He could have had time to, just, to go the safe route, but he didn't. And that is what we're talking about here when we're saying, like, the road that you take, there's choices you can make. You could take, the easy way, the safe route, but we all know that wouldn't have made the impact that he made.
It's either going all in, or not at all.
Yeah,
there's no in between. When you are on an adventure, you know what? I'm gonna bring a very personal example to me. honestly, because it's no. Honestly, I feel like all immigrant parents could actually relate to that. I'm not gonna say it's personal to me because I feel like, because literally America is not. No one is from America. This country here is a business country. People come from everywhere looking for a better life for themselves and for their family in this country. Not because their country is shit or they can find themselves there. People do have a really good life in their country, but they still come in this country because they feel like, I feel like it's because of how America sold themselves to the world. That
the dream, right?
Yeah, they pretty much said the American dream. You come here, everything is easy. You can get this and that and easy. Everything is accessible. Everything is free. You don't have to work as much. You get money, you get free this and that. And obviously, in your how do I say this? In your birth country, you're gonna have to work for certain things because it's your country. You're helping developing that country, and because America is so young, so there's all these things. Okay, so basically, going to what I'm trying to say, because I'm not going to rush, because obviously this is a podcast, and obviously this is why it is for to talk. Mm-hmm. So what I was trying to say is like, okay, so think about that. You over here doubting yourself, okay? Okay, you're like, okay, I want to take the easy road because nowadays is what us. I won't say I'm not a teenager no more. I'm fucking 23 years old. Sorry, oh my curse. I'm 23, almost 24. So I'm not gonna say I'm a teenager, but I'm gonna say young adult, us, right? Young people, whatever. It could be anybody. You pretty much see yourself, and you actually think that it's so hard for you to get up in the morning and get your things done and whatever, and you're crying about it, you're doubting yourself and whatever. Can you imagine the life? I'm not speaking about kids who are somewhere else in this world, and I'm not saying that America is the best country in the world, but I'm saying that imagine if your parents didn't do the things they did for you to be here in this country and having the things that you have that they didn't have themselves growing up. So again, it comes with a lot of sacrifices on their part just for you to have that luxury. So they didn't have to do that. I mean, we see a lot of parents abandon their child, their kids. They just run away. Parents come here, they have a better life. They're like, oh, I don't care about her, I don't care about him, they'll be fine. Then they come here and they just look for ways for themselves to be great. Or it's just, I know a lot of African parents, right? A lot of African immigrants parents, right? That come here in this country and they're abandoned their family back home. I know a lot of parents that way. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. You know, even when my dad came here in this country, because he came here for work, right? Mm-hmm. Then turned out he loved this. It turned out he loves his country, and he was like, "Oh, we should all come here and just have a life." I came here when I was 16, so he literally did everything that he could, and he didn't have to. He knew this role. He came here in adventure, just like a lot of African parents, just a lot of immigrant parents come here looking for a better life for themselves and for their kids. Not that we didn't have a good life in my country, but he wanted something better, and I'm better. I'm great. I have finished school. I have all my degrees, right? Mm-hmm. But like I know a lot of young adults at my age, kids at my age, who don't even have half that I have. Or even if they have it, they just don't have good jobs. It's not guaranteed they're gonna have a good job. It's not guaranteed they can one day purchase their own home in their country. Yeah. And I have all the chance in the world once I put myself together, all my money together to get my own house, which we're not suffering. We're good now. Well, we still have our own place, but like kids our age don't have what we have. That luxury comes with a lot of sacrifice, and also you gotta also think about that though. Like that's why I was saying choice, because now we're here, right? We're good. We're having a great life. We can easily say, okay, it's time for us to have kids, right? Just because we're good, but we're not doing that because we feel like we're not 100% yet there to where we want to be, and we also feel like we have a lot of work to get done. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of kids our age just think about what? Just having kids just because they have a good salary and they just think that's it. It's time for me to have a family. And we're not saying
other people.
right, seeing other people and being bored of their own marriage and just running around doing nonsense. And because we're focused and we have the privilege to be where we are, and we're gonna keep being focused by sharing our experiences and inspire other young people as well in our age to understand that this ain't all about it. You are made for greatness, and you can limit yourself to where you are and be comfortable to because you think that's it.
Yeah.
There's so much more you could do. You could be the future billionaire.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that is a bad thing if you somehow think that you already where you want to be. But I'm saying that are you sure?
Yeah.
Like you gotta make sure that within yourself, like you're not lying to yourself. Cause you know you can do so much more. You cannot stop that little this little butterflies in your stomach. They're trying to fly away. You cannot keep them inside forever. You gotta let them fly out. You gotta give them their freedom. You gotta give yourself. You gotta allow yourself to do more, to want to do more.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
because you cannot say, "Oh, this is it for me. I have a home. I have a good job. I make money. I'm good." Are you sure? That's it. And I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm saying that's a safe way to put it.
Yeah.
It's too easy for you to say that when you know there's so much more you can offer to the world. There's so much more you can offer to the world, and you're not done yet. Don't be comfortable with your 9 to 5 a.m. p.m. job when you know there's so much more you could do.
Yeah.
You know? Everyone has that little fear, but you gotta take risk in life
Yeah.
to achieve greatness.
Yeah.
And then you gotta understand what comes with it. You can't play safe. You've gotta go in.
Yeah.
Take that car and drive far away with it.
Absolutely. I agree with that, and that especially the last part, which that you just said about taking a risk. You have to, it's part of, even within those sacrifices is also taking a risk, because it's kind of like you don't know what the outcome will be,
because your parents wouldn't even
at
be
the end of the day. You're doing what you believe is the right thing to do to get to where you have where you want to be, and that movie we just watched, Chip and Dale, the biggest risk is not taking a risk at all. So honestly, you trying to play things safe and all of that stuff, honestly, you're risking a lot more, by not trying to take a risk at all, because you're missing out on a lot of things. You're missing out on the better things in life. You're missing out on the greater things in life, the greater things that God has, planned out for you, in advance. The people you will impact, the people you're inspire and touch, and all of that is not possible because you decided not to take that risk. You decided not to take that step. You decided not to take that leap, that jump, that you decided to play things safe and just, sit down, sit in that corner and just, hang out. And just, instead of you taking that step, instead of you, taking that step so you can go up the stairs and continue to go up, you're just standing at that first step and you're comfortable. Instead of trying to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, you're comfortable where you are and you want to stay right there because, nobody's bothering you, this, that, and you're basically trying to get even, or stay cool, or stay even with everything life brings and not have any trouble. But I think you're hurting yourself more than you're bettering yourself, because you're avoiding everything that that comes with this life. And when times do get tough, because even despite, us trying to play things safe and not take risks, life is still life and things will still happen. And people, I know this, there's definitely examples of people who try to play it safe, and still things didn't work out the way that they wanted it to or expected it to, despite their best efforts to not allow life to bother them or hit them. So be doing that is more of an indicator of that fear, that fear taking over, and succumbing to that fear and not wanting to even come face to face with your fears at all. So instead of coming face to face with your fears and trying to and overcome them, and get over them, and push forward, you're kind of just in that corner, like I said before, and kind of just being scared, honestly, being scared of the moment, being scared of living life, period. And that's not a way you want to live at all.
Exactly. Do you want to think like I'm gonna keep going back to that example, because like it's really important. Like, remember, like, if your parent didn't do what they did, would you have been this person that you are today? Like, imagine what your parent had to go through, what all the people that we know fought for, that we, the way we are living now. There's somebody who made some type of sacrifice. There's someone who didn't take the easier way. There's someone who understood their assignment and they went with it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way. There's, like, what I'm trying to say, like, you've got to really allow yourself to go with this road. Mm-hmm. Like, that road that you have in your mind and in your heart, that you know that you have to take at some point in life, but you're doubting yourself because you don't think you're capable of doing it. You've got to dead that at some point in life. At some point, somebody got to do it.
Yeah.
And this person has to be you.
Yeah. You have to be ready for whatever comes along the way on that road.
Just imagine immigrant parents. Just imagine those immigrant parents. I'm giving, like, all them immigrant parents. I'm giving them, like, they're all our heroes. Like your dad, my dad, like everyone that came from somewhere in this country, looking for a better life for their families, without even thinking, oh, what sacrifice I would have to make. They just did it. Yeah. They were like, oh, I'm going. Like, they went for an adventure. This journey for them, for us to be here today, that's an adventure for them. Yeah. Their dream, their goal was for us to have to live better than them. They made that. They made up their mind. My kid is not gonna grow up in my country because it's hard finding a job. Mm-hmm. So for them to allow themselves coming here and going through what they have to go through, all them humiliations. I'm pretty sure people were racist and rude to her parents. Mm-hmm. Period. I'm speaking to immigrant kids because I want them to understand that this country is a golden place for us. I'm not saying it's the best place in the world, but I'm saying that
opportunity for
there's
sure.
I'm saying, like, our parents saw it that way, and we're living their life. I mean, we're living their dreams. Yeah, we are living their dreams because they're wanting us to be comfortable. They wanted us to be at peace, and we cannot let their dreams
stop here.
Yeah,
gotta keep it going.
We gotta keep a legacy. We gotta go over. We gotta use
we're in a
it.
better
it's like,
position.
Do you know that game, babe? That running marathon, when they're running, just give the
like the baton thing.
The baton. So that's how it's supposed to be. You gotta keep running.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to you, you gotta grab it. You gotta run. You gotta get to the other person. You run.
It's our turn now.
It's our turn to run for the race, and we cannot take the short way. We cannot take the easier way. We cannot take the safe way.
You can't.
We gotta go for it.
And in that race, you can't.
You gotta go for it.
When you pass that baton, you don't slow down. You can't slow down. You got. While they passing it to you, you running.
You gotta go on the same race,
bro. You trying to beat they speed like as soon as you get in that,
Yeah.
your feet already moving.
And I'm not trying
So,
to like
That's crazy.
and I'm not trying to downgrade or speak low on kids that were born here, or trying to like I'm not trying like to separate
Yeah.
um
It's just a different perspective.
right
on
that
one- on different-
perspective, because
It's just
okay, here
different.
this is why me and Michael very interesting, a very interesting couple because he was born here in America. I came here when I was 16, so obviously, well, his parent came here, your parent did came here in America, so they were immigrants. So still we kind of have a similar experience, but I would say it's somehow different because you were born here, so you already had that golden ticket that your parent wanted you to have, which I did too because my dad came here and then after I came, but I wasn't born here, right? But I still had the chance, that privilege, that luxury to go for my dream and to go to school and graduate on time at the same time as you. Do you know what I'm saying? So my dad did that for me. So I would never ever stop his dream here. Every time when he speaks to me, he's like, "I'm so proud of you. You're doing so great."
Yeah.
Because I makes me so happy because like I feel like I'm living the dream that he wanted. I'm living that dream for him, you know?
Yeah.
And then you too, because even like for your experience, like it wouldn't even matter because your dad already feels like he did it. Because you just being born here, he did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That is
I'm telling you.
that's how it is
You gotta really
different because you being here,
put things in
you just
perspective for sure.
being born here is just his dream because he wanted all his kids to be born here and to have that golden ticket as well. Not and then also other kids too. I'm sure people American like I like. I'm not gonna say birth American. I'm just because the real Americans are way Indians. Okay, I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna say Native American.
To the Native Americans.
Black Americans, whether you're black or white or Spanish born here, it don't matter. Because you're somehow from somewhere, but I'm gonna say Americans, kids from born, like, native born here. Natives born. I knew, I was just trying to make sure it was okay for me to say. Native born. You definitely, that, just like the same way, like, our parent did something in our lives. And then whether you were born without a parent or your parents struggling, you still gotta be that dream for your kids. You cannot, like, that's a thing too. You gotta understand that road. It's more than you. That toughness starts with you. What are you gonna do about it? You gotta start that race for your kids to grab it from you. Yeah. So what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna stick to the easier way?
Legacy,
or the safe way? You gotta all you gotta do is to go for it, period. You gotta go for it. That's what it is. Understanding the road and where it will take you.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it is.
When you look at all, success stories, like literally all the best success stories, that you've heard of and that have inspired you. It's a common thing that you notice in all the ones that inspired you, and you notice that sacrifice that was made. You notice that risk that was taken. You see these elements that are similar, that are common in each of these, success stories that we see. We see sacrifices that were made. You see risks that were taken, and it makes you say, "Wow," and inspires you. And but one thing we must not do is just allow it to just have it stop there. We also can be
exactly
an inspiration and have us be that success. Our life also be a success story, as well. And let it not stop there where it's like, wow, how did they do it? It's like, oh no, I can do that. I will do that.
Are you gonna waste that time for your kids? Because do you want your kids to also
live your life too?
Right. Do you want your kids to also work as twice hard when you didn't? That's not fair.
Or exactly.
Twice as hard as you did it because your parent did everything for you. Now you're gonna have your kids work 3 times, 10 times harder.
Don't go backwards.
Don't
go
do
forwards.
that.
You gotta go forward.
The whole point is to make life as easy and easy and easy and easy and easy and easier as it gets. So you can be like, oh my gosh, guys. I'm so glad my parent. I'm so happy.
While also keeping having that understanding that how that came to be. The reason why we're able to leave this legacy is because of the work that was put in, the sacrifice that was put in. That integrity is still there. That you also want to leave a reputation that doesn't leave. You also want to leave a reputation that doesn't have your legacy, moving backwards because now the generation is getting spoiled because they think everything's coming easy. It's like, no, you still want to have that balance where you understand that humility, where you understand that no, you still have to put in the work for this. You still have to make the sacrifices for this for it to keep going. And
it's all about
so that as it continues to go, it doesn't just stop there because all right, this will never go away. It's like, no, you want to keep that going. You want to keep that,
for sure.
You gotta keep putting in that work.
That's what people.
So sometimes people end up losing all the work generations put in, even if it takes a while.
Because they have that
because that entitlement comes in where it's like, I don't have to work. Everyone's already worked for me, and you don't want to have that because one, that will put you in a position where you are not even living in your purpose anymore. You think that you've already got it. You don't have to do anything, and you're no longer serving others. You're no longer inspiring people. You become big headed and you think, oh, you're that guy or that you think you're that woman, you're that man, and you're just whatever. I can do whatever, and you don't want to be like that because then that's when trouble starts. And that's happened before. I mean, and you don't want to have that happen to you. You want to continue to also instill this wisdom in the future generation, in your kids, and have them teach their kids too that you still have to put in that work. Sacrifice, you still have to put in those sacrifices if this is the life you want to continue to live and have generations continue. You still have to put in those sacrifices and all of that.
That's what it is. That's why you have to train your kids when they're little and teach them to understand the value of life, the value of work.
Exactly.
And so that they're not lost with
gratitude, all of
lost within
this world and
whatever. Like listen to the wealth, listen to their conscience or like the what's right, what's wrong, and then like really understanding.
You have to have a good foundation, honestly. Just a good foundation.
A good foundation and a really clear understanding of what it is we're about, what we're trying to do, and like teaching them to understand
how things came to be.
Yeah.
Like literally, like it really
like honestly, like things can just that's one thing that African parents actually make sure we know.
Yeah.
They're like things were handed to me, things were handed to me. I literally worked for everything I have. Exactly. Even though it gets annoying, but that's the story. That's what we need to hear. That's what kids have to hear. Everything, especially kids nowadays. No, I'm gonna say this new generation is a whole mess.
Oh yeah, it's definitely.
And I don't care what anybody said. It's mainly because of celebrities. Especially,
I wouldn't even put it. I think it's just like it's not even just that. I think it's mainly because of the what's it called, the mindset that the kids have grown up with.
That one too.
It's kind of like
listen, that one too. But also, I'm gonna say the exposure because a kid is gonna be a kid, right?
Yeah.
And also, kids are going to be exposed because nowadays kids need to be aware of how to use the phone. In case of emergency, kids have to be able to do work on the internet, right? Yeah. And I'm not saying things are not going to happen, but I'm saying like the way certain things are being said on the internet does affect a kid's mindset. Yeah. Not that I'm not going to be putting my work as a parent. Not that I'm not going to teach my kid to know things or how to understand life and to understand and to have like a basic human
for them to understand, but then
like a human sense or like like understanding things or like not using social media what has been said to think that's real life kind of thing.
But that's the important thing to teach them though.
But to understand, look, listen to what I'm trying to say too. But like I'm trying to say that social media or like the internet in general. Why are we seeing like a lot of those young people who are supposed to they're just supposed to just be kids, right? On social media, acting like a certain way, like dressing up and doing the whole tongue out, or not really being studying. Like a kid could be in their room, you're thinking they're sleeping, but they go on their phones doing other things, talking to whoever they're talking to, and being exposed to videos of whoever celebrities are there. Why are they putting certain things out like that? Or why are they saying certain things this way when there should be, I'm not saying to cover it up, but I'm saying like there's a way to go by things where kids are not going to feel like that's how things are supposed to be, or like that's what is acceptable in society. We all play a role into society. We all play a role into how a kid sees themselves. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So a parent gonna always do their jobs, right? Parents are always gonna do their jobs, but sometimes when it comes to social, like the internet, it's too much. Okay.
I see your take on it. I have a different take on it.
It's a lot. Sure.
I think like the internet, because I think one thing for sure is the internet, like it can't be, like no matter what, the internet's gonna be here. I mean, it's 2022, so regardless, the internet's gonna be
for
there.
Sure, it's so going to be here, and that's what's sad.
So yeah,
because we're not because we're not understanding that certain things are gonna be here forever. So there are certain things that cannot be exposed to the world. There's certain things that need to be kept.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
to ourselves.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying
you'll be here dragging your kids on social media.
Yeah, as far as,
and you're not aware of what they're putting on social media or the internet. You gotta be aware. As far as people
doing stuff on social media, I mean that's just accountability. Like you have to have, at some point you have to have the accountability. You have to have discipline, and you have to, be responsible
and that's
for what
why
you
parents
do.
Need to do their jobs because so that kids don't end up doing that.
Yeah, because
but at the same time, social media is always gonna be there.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's the sad part.
So social media and internet and all of that is what it is. But as far as what people do on it, that's on them to control that. Nobody's forcing you to post that or say that or do any of that, or feel entitled just because you got a million followers from doing, because you're an influencer or this or that. So all of that stuff, at the end of the day still comes down to accountability, responsibility, and especially if they're kids, then that still falls on the parents, because the kids do not have the like.
But I know that. I have heard that so many times. But if you are a parent that's doing their jobs, imagine this. Listen to this. If a parent is doing their jobs, right? Yeah. Is literally doing their job and educating their kids as much as I can. There is no way that a kid is gonna look at something, and they're literally gonna think that's like a way. That's like something like a kid that's never done certain things like that, like has never seen it, right? Because they're literally exposed to just acting the right way, right? Okay. But if they're seeing some certain things different, they're gonna think, oh, that might be something cool I could try. Like a kid are gonna be a kid. They might be feeling like a little curious. It might be exciting, trying something. And I pray to God my kid on it. But they might be like, let me just try it.
Yeah,
let me just do it. But I'm saying at the end of the day, kids are gonna be curious. Kids are gonna be kids.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And parents don't always do their job, but at certain like a kid gonna make a mistake, right?
Yeah, that's.
So I pray to God that we are not as foolish with the internet. Like people. I don't even know what to say. Like, the internet guys do a better job. Like this, like that's what we're saying. Social media, the internet is a disease.
No, not even.
Kids are gonna be curious. It's not. That's all I'm trying to say. They're gonna be curious. They're gonna want to try new things because they have never been exposed to. That's what scares me.
Yeah. So it's like with that. I mean, with that. That's just you gotta learn from your mistakes, whether you're a kid or not. So we all made mistakes as kids, even before social media. So regardless of
No,
that,
it's social media.
yeah, but I'm saying like mistakes, regardless, whatever they are, like mistakes are mistakes. So either you learn from it or you don't. You keep doing it again. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know what I mean. It's like touching. If there's consequences to what you're doing,
there are gonna be things.
then you're not gonna do it. If there's consequences that you don't like, you know what I mean. But if you're gonna keep doing it, that's what you're gonna do. So at some point, they're gonna learn on their own type stuff. But one
For
thing I would
sure,
say
they're
is,
going to
as
learn
a
on
as
them.
a as a as just as a human society, we can just be
We can do a better
we
job.
can just be better examples to one another.
That's what I'm
As far
saying. That's
as
what I'm trying to say.
yeah, of
Because we don't
course,
understand
yeah,
that
that
this is
just
gonna be out there forever.
yeah.
Generation gonna come and
Yeah,
see it.
I
Even
think
even
that's
if you're not active on your page,
yeah,
somebody your
yeah.
kids are going to be
Yeah,
going to
that's more of
find
a
it.
that's
Find
definitely
it.
more of a societal thing. Like at this moment, like
Anyways, we're
just
gonna
generally.
pray. Parents need to keep trying to raise their kids. Parents need to just put the foot into into education of their
I
kid.
think prayers answer
That
for sure.
everything is for sure because
yeah,
you still have to
everything
put the
starts with
work
prayer,
in. You still have to put the work in.
Prayer and work.
You still have to put the work in.
Yeah,
And what I'm
prayer
trying to say, you're not gonna pray and just sit there. You have to put the work
Yeah.
in. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You need to put
Both-
your work in as
yeah.
the parents. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying first, Mayokun.
Yeah,
Yes, that comes, but you have to do your job too.
yeah,
Because there's no way
yeah.
you're going to expect a kid to not want to try something on social media.
Yeah,
or
nobody's
on
not
the internet.
expecting that, but as it happens,
And there's something
you
that
also have to trust that
and there's
if
some
you
right,
if
and
you've
there's
told
and there's something that also that I
that
that
if
I've
you've or trained your or
There-
taught
there is
your
some-
kid the right
there's
thing.
something that I question
Yeah,
that I'm like, oh, this is something that I fear for the next generation coming because we had such a good time, the 90s kids, such a good time, like growing up and watching and learning. We got all our good time and good memories from them. We can always look back to and be like, oh my god, this was the best years of my life. The same way we want our kids to have this experience. That's what I'm trying to say. The internet plays a huge part into a child's life. This whole thing, it takes a village to raise a kid, okay? Okay? This is a village, not just the parents. The teachers play the role into the kids of education. Grandparents, family, surrounding neighborhood, everyone play a huge part of a child's life or human being. I'll just say human, period. Human experience comes from a whole village. And us 90s kids can always look back and say, this was the best years of my life. Right? Yeah. We had the best cartoons. We had the best games. Me growing up, oh my gosh, I used to always play on the ground. The sin was my right. I used to cook I learned how to cook from playing on the ground, okay? From playing with my friends, mommy and daddy, all these things. I've had the best years of my life growing up. My childhood was the best. And I can say that. I can close my eyes and say that. But can the generation coming say that? Will they be able to say that?
Yeah, my kids will definitely
That is
say
the best
that for
question.
Sure.
That is a big question mark. Because we want that for our kids. And
for sure,
this is what I'm saying, that
but it's the
I want this podcast to go viral so that we understand that
the sacrifices too.
It takes a lot. That's what I'm saying. It takes a lot. Not taking the easier way, the safest way, and really go for it. Sure. And to understand that, yeah, it's tough out there. It is tough out here. Period.
It's tough, but I'm gonna make it up. My kid's gonna say that. My kid's gonna be lit, yo. My kid's gonna be lit because the work we're gonna put in is different.
It takes a lot to raise a kid. Period.
I can't control. I can only control what I can control. You feel me? So
I
I'm
know
gonna
that we can control. But hear me out too. It takes a whole village.
Yeah, of course. But like I said, since we can't control what other people do, we the examples of how things should be. So when we go out there and us, with the podcast and whatever, everything else we're doing is an example of, us lifting each other up and encouraging each other, giving each other wisdom, sharing our experiences, all of that. And that's more of what we want to see, on social media, on the internet and stuff like that, but we're just gonna keep doing that because that's something we can control. That's something we can do. That's something we're putting out, so we can do. And everything else, that is what it is. We can't control that. But for sure, we know that on our end, we're doing, we're making a positive impact and leaving a legacy that when people come across it, they can be inspired and have it be impacted in a positive way. And we know that we're part of that change that we want to see in the culture of society right now, in the way that things are going, for sure. So, which goes back to what we were talking about earlier, as far as, thinking, as far as trying to control things, in this instance, we definitely can't control, because we know that, the stuff we're putting out is something positive.
Because you cannot control it, so you're trying to impact. But at the same time, we as a society, the message is what? We as a society need to remember that we all play a role in this life. We all play a role in society. So it is also not our job, but it has to be like a priority. It has to be like at least a thought. It has to be at least a thought into our like daily activity. Like, we gotta think, is this gonna make a difference? Is this worth having it out there? Is it gonna be for somebody to learn from? If not, don't embarrass yourself. Don't do things that you wouldn't like somebody else do, Like, I feel like I just wish there was no celebrities, period. I wish we could just leave a world without no celebrities, with no freaking, I don't know, people thinking they could just do anything just because they have 1 million followers. No, you cannot.
Yeah.
You cannot, because that's simply out of line and ridiculous. Anyways, I don't think I've seen, because if I had seen any celebrity or anybody that I think, oh, he's cool or she cool to follow because I'm learning from that person, because I like the vibe of that person, I don't think I would still follow the person, period. Like, if you're saying wild stuff, you're being crazy and wild, that's why I go and I'm like, whoop, unfollow you, because I know better. So the same way we do things like that, we are keeping away distraction. Again, we are the master of our lives. So it's our choice to decide, what do we want to be part of our journey, and then how do we want to go from it. Again, gotta remember that our parents did way worse than what we think we're going through. That's bad. And if not, like, if you haven't had a parent, I'm sorry, if you didn't grow up with your parents and stuff like that, you still have to remember that if you want to have kids, that's for sure. Or if you want to be alone for the rest of your life, or I don't know. But if you want to have kids, you got to remember that, do you want your kid to go through the same thing? You've had to make sacrifices, and you have to be you've got to allow yourself to go for it. You can't play safe anymore. You can't expect to be easy. You've got to go for the highest way as possible, so that your kids are not punished as well, or like they're not gonna work 10 times as much. But you want them to understand. You want them to understand the value of life, for sure. But you also have to remember that it starts with you, and with you it'll end.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
so that was where will your road take you. That was, you ready? You ready for that challenge? Are you ready for it? Are you ready to make a legacy? Are you ready to risk it all?
That's episode 16. Kwanza Global family. Gonna catch you on the next episode. That was a good convo again.
again, it's controversial. All opinions are welcome. Because
sure,
I know
for
here
sure.
we had a little tough time because
For
I
sure,
was
for
like,
sure.
I was like, I understand. I know parents gotta do their job, but internet to social media, because I can always be like recall my life, my childhood.
Yeah.
Can be like, ooh, my years was lit. You know, like I didn't even know social media. That's the thing too. I didn't know internet, so I was just on the ground playing around. So I can't really recall myself being on the internet like that. You know what I'm saying? So again, I mean, it could be true that going on there, knowing the internet could make that kind of change and adjustment, right? Because kids go on there and they learn certain stuff, right? But if you're not exposing your kid too early, maybe that could make a difference. I don't know. But again, this is another convo. But the focus here is, where will your road take you? How do you want to go by it? And are you ready for the challenge? Literally, are you ready for the challenge? Are you going to go for it? Or are you going to take the easier way? And understand, if you actually want to go for it, you got to understand that road. We got to understand that road and the sacrifices it'll come with.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. So really, really get to that point in your life, you know?
For sure, for sure. All I know is we moving different out here. So that's episode 16. You ready? And catch y'all on the next episode. Much love, Kwanza Global family. We out.
Okay, peace.
Peace.